And welcome. I am so happy you are here with me today, getting ready to explore one of the most quietly brilliant systems inside your body, the autonomic nervous system. If you have ever wondered how your heart knows to beat a little faster when you are nervous, or how your eyes adjust to sunshine at just the right moment, you are already a fan of this incredible network, even if you did not know its name until now. Today, we are going to gently unravel the essentials of autonomic pharmacology. In other words, we will learn how your body's automatic nerve system keeps everything balanced, and how modern medicine can adjust that system with remarkable precision. And best of all, I promise to make this journey both clear and inviting, whether you are a curious student or just looking to better understand your own wonderful biology. Let us begin at the foundation. The autonomic nervous system, often shortened to ANS, is your body's behind-the-scenes operator. It works quietly, moment by moment, to keep things stable, what we call homeostasis. Just like a diligent caretaker, the ANS makes sure your heart, lungs, digestive tract, and even your pupils stay in perfect harmony with your needs. Now, the ANS is composed of several divisions, sort of like different branches on a family tree. The two main ones are the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. Imagine the sympathetic system as your body's built-in alarm system, always ready to get you moving in a moment of excitement, stress, or danger. This is sometimes called the fight or flight response. It sends signals from the middle part of your spine, that is the thoracolumbar region. The nerves in this system travel a short distance before making a stop at a ganglion, which is simply a little cluster of nerve cells, a kind of relay station. From there, new nerve fibers continue on a much longer journey to their targets, such as your heart or sweat glands. The parasympathetic system, on the other hand, is your relaxation guide. It encourages rest and digest, helping you conserve energy and manage routine body functions after the storm has passed. Its signals begin either in your brainstem, traveling with certain cranial nerves, or from the lower part of your spine. These nerves usually travel a long way before reaching their relay station, which is often right next to or even inside the target organ, like the stomach or lungs. From there, they send only a short, final message to their destination. But wait, there's a fascinating third component called the enteric nervous system, or ENS. This is sometimes nicknamed the second brain of your gut. It is a thick web of nerves inside the walls of your digestive tract, filled with its own mini relay stations, called plexuses. The ENS can listen to instructions from the sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions. But it also makes its own decisions, directing digestion, secretion, and local reflexes, even if cut off from the rest of the nervous system. How cool is that? To stay so responsive, the ANS relies on a constant feedback loop. Sensory nerves, sometimes called afferent fibers, shuttle information back to the brain and spinal cord, allowing your body to sense internal changes and adjust accordingly. Now, how does communication actually happen between all these different parts? Picture billions of messages racing down nerve highways. At each stoplight, otherwise known as a synapse, one nerve speaks to the next using a chemical messenger. And this is where things get especially interesting for pharmacology. Every autonomic nerve terminal follows a kind of five-step dance. First, it makes or synthesizes its special messenger. Next, it safely stores this messenger in tiny bubbles called vesicles. When it is time to send the message, the nerve releases the chemical into the tiny gap between itself and the next cell. The messenger travels across, binds to a receptor, think of it like a lock and key mechanism, on the target cell, then finally. The messenger must be cleared away so the signal can stop. Each step in this cycle is a potential target for drugs. Let us talk about one of the most important messenger systems, the cholinergic pathway. Here, the main actor is acetylcholine. Let's break it down. First, the cell pulls in raw materials like choline and combines them with a helper chemical called acetyl-CoA using a special enzyme, sort of like making soup by combining all the right ingredients. A newly made acetylcholine is then packaged into vesicles, those tiny bubbles, with the help of a transporter protein. Our medical detectives discovered that certain drugs can block this packaging step, throwing off the flow entirely. When a nerve signal arrives, it triggers a wave of calcium inside the cell, acting as the go signal. This tells the vesicles to merge with the outer membrane and release acetylcholine into the space outside. Amazingly, a toxin produced by the bacteria that causes botulism can completely block this step, causing paralysis. Next, acetylcholine finds its receptor target on the next cell. Finally, the message is rapidly shut down by an enzyme called acetylcholinesterase, which chops up acetylcholine so the next message can be heard loud and clear. Now let's consider adrenergic transmission, where the main messengers are norepinephrine and epinephrine, sometimes called adrenaline. Their story begins with an amino acid called tyrosine, which the cell slowly converts, step by careful step, into dopamine, then into norepinephrine. In your adrenal glands, norepinephrine takes one final step to become epinephrine. Just like acetylcholine, these messengers are packaged into vesicles using a special transporter, and various drugs can block this step. When the nerve is activated, calcium again helps vesicles fuse with the outer membrane, and norepinephrine is released. However, there are a few extra tricks here. Certain substances, like amphetamine or tyramine, can actually cause norepinephrine to leave the cell without needing calcium at all, by playing with another protein, like sneaking through a side door. To end its signal, norepinephrine can be recycled, pulled back inside by a special protein called a reuptake transporter. Drugs like cocaine can block this transporter, leading to a dramatic buildup of norepinephrine outside the cell. Meanwhile, other enzymes break down the messengers into harmless byproducts, some of which you can find in your urine. But acetylcholine and norepinephrine do not work alone. They have a little help from their friends, what we call cotransmitters. Think of these like backup singers, modulating and fine-tuning the main performance. These helpers, which include molecules like ATP, peptides, and nitric oxide, can change how fast or strong a message gets delivered. Now, let's talk about the actual locks, or receptors, that these messengers target. Acetylcholine works on two main types. Muscarinic receptors are like slow, careful switches, controlling organs like the heart and glands via longer, steadier signals. Nicotinic receptors, by contrast, are fast and snappy, acting almost instantly, much like flipping a light switch, which is crucial for quick muscle movements. Norepinephrine and epinephrine hit their own families of receptors known as alpha and beta receptors. Each type triggers a different kind of reaction. Alpha-1 receptors squeeze down blood vessels, increasing blood pressure. Beta-1 receptors speed up the heart. Beta-2 receptors, on the other hand, help relax airways, making it easier to breathe. Even dopamine, famous for its role in pleasure and reward, has its own set of targets, giving it a unique place in both the brain and the body. What is truly beautiful here is that drug makers can design medications that specifically fit one type of receptor, but not another. A bit like having a key that only opens your front door, not your neighbor's. That is how some blood pressure medications, for example, target only alpha or beta receptors. Our story does not end with acetylcholine and norepinephrine. In some tissues, like parts of the digestive system, the lungs, or blood vessels, special nerves use different messengers entirely, such as nitric oxide or peptides. This is called non-adrenergic, non-cholinergic, or NANS, transmission. It adds a fine layer of control, letting the system act with even more precision. So what keeps everything working together so smoothly? It all comes down to integration. Imagine your brain's control centers as master conductors, gathering information about everything from blood pressure to body temperature, and issuing commands through the ANS to keep balance. A wonderful example is the baroreceptor reflex, which controls your blood pressure. Tiny sensors in the walls of your arteries notice when pressure rises or falls, sending signals to your brainstem. In response, your body tweaks outputs from both the sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions. Suppose you receive a sudden injection of norepinephrine. At first, your blood pressure spikes, but almost instantly, your body uses this reflex to slow your heart rate down, bringing things back into line, a lovely demonstration of the system's wisdom. Sometimes, the two sides, sympathetic and parasympathetic, work together in a coordinated dance. For instance, the bladder's ability to hold and release urine smoothly relies on this beautiful cooperation. Zooming in further, let's touch on how nerves fine-tune their effects. Some nerve endings have tiny sensors called autoreceptors, which act almost like a thermostat for the nerve's own activity. When enough signal has been sent, these receptors turn things down to prevent overactivity. Other sensors, called heteroreceptors, listen for different messengers from neighboring nerves, adjusting output as needed. This remarkable system even adapts over time. If a nerve loses its usual signal, its target cells get more sensitive, like turning up the volume to catch a faint sound. Let us not forget the many ways modern medicine can shape these processes. Each step in the nerve's message cycle is a potential drug target. Some medications, like local anesthetics, simply block nerves from firing, like flipping the circuit breaker in your house. Others stop messengers from being made, stored, or released, each with their own signature effects. Still others boost signals by blocking the enzymes that break down messengers or enhance them directly by acting on the receptors themselves. All of these tools help clinicians treat conditions as varied as asthma, high blood pressure, abnormal heart rhythms, and even glaucoma. Since glaucoma is a great example, let us see the ANS in action right inside your eye. Your pupil size and your eye's ability to focus are tightly regulated by the autonomic system. The parasympathetic system signals cause your pupils to constrict, making them smaller, and help your lens focus for close-up work. This also improves fluid drainage in the eye, a helpful thing for glaucoma therapy. The sympathetic system can make your pupils dilate, allowing more light in and increases fluid production from within the eye. By using medications that target these pathways, doctors can carefully adjust eye function to treat disease. If you remember nothing else, let me leave you with these key takeaways. Every autonomic drug works by tweaking one of 5 key steps in a nerve's message process, or by acting at a highly specific receptor. Understanding the built-in reflexes and the way nerves regulate themselves, or each other, is critical for predicting both the effects and the potential side effects of any drug. And don't forget, the supporting cast of Cotransmitters and all those special, non-traditional pathways are opening new doors for future medicine. I hope you found this exploration of the autonomic nervous system as dazzling as I do. It is one of the most adaptable and ingenious systems in your body. If you have questions or thoughts about today's topic, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Do not be shy. Please join me in the comments below and let us keep the conversation going. Until next time, thank you for letting me be part of your learning journey. Stay curious, and goodbye for now.